So, a good while ago, 10 months ago at the time of writing this, I covered a lost pilot episode from a cancelled kids show based on a toy line, Gogo's Crazy Bones. While the search itself was quieter than most, the video exposed a good number of people to the search for the lost pilot. It was one of my favorite topics, and I'm glad to say that this pilot episode has been found. Today, we're going to be talking about it resurfacing, an overall review of the episode, and my thoughts on the whole thing. So with that being said, sit back, relax, grab a snack, and maybe get a little drink too, and get cozy. Because today, we're going to be talking about the found Gogo's Crazy Bones pilot. A lot of people are calling 2021 the year of found media. Honestly, I have to agree there. Lots of pieces of lost media have been found this year, from things like Silver Circle to the biblical Subway ad. This year has been great for the lost media community. So on December 6th, I received a Twitter DM from someone named Aiden. I'll admit, I had forgotten about the Gogo's pilot search until a few days before the DM when I was looking back at all my old single topic videos. So Aiden had asked me if the pilot episode was still lost, which I said it was. Aiden informed me that 2 years ago they had made a Reddit post on r/lostmedia about the pilot. I can only imagine that Aiden's DMs would get constant questions regarding the pilot, and hey, I'll admit, I'm not that big of a Redditor, but drawing attention to lost media through the subreddit is a great idea. The individuals credited to this finding were two Reddit users, Sevorius and Tisby. Sevorius had reached out to Aiden asking about his post. In Sevorius' messages to Aiden, they had said the following. I have already contacted the admin of the Gogo's fandom wiki. I will likely upload it myself. I had it saved on a DVD from a friend of mine, but I couldn't access the DVD, so he had that original file and sent it to me. I got it from him, but I don't think there is a higher quality version available. Feel free to share the link though, just make sure to credit Sevorius and Tisby. Tisby is my friend who has the original file. Aiden let me know that they had an HD version of the pilot and went ahead and sent a link to that drive. They let me know that they uploaded a copy on archive.org just in case. As for the actual pilot's contents, I haven't watched this thing since before it was taken down, so I'm going to watch it now, come back in a second, and let you know how it was. Wow. That was awful. That was awful. So obviously we started out with the intro that was already available, and my god, I forgot how long it was, or rather how long it felt. All the intro's animation is used from the pilot episode, probably because they didn't get the okay to animate any more of it. Thankfully. Our episode starts with a group of Gogos trying to make one named Struber laugh. I will say this, if he wants to laugh, he probably shouldn't watch this episode. Then there's this Michael Jackson impression, and wow, words cannot describe the way that made me feel. Oh yeah, Struber literally tells this guy that he's unfunny, so I mean, at least he's aware, right? As the theme song says, the Gogos live on planet Gogo. Wow. The whole plot set up for the series is that the Gogos would go to Earth and bring things back, and this episode's plot was bring back a cloud. The lip sync is not good here. So honestly, Struber is the only one whose name I know, mainly because these have weird names assigned to everyone. So from here on out, Struber is going to be the only one I refer to by name. Everyone else is going to be referred to as their color. So they open a portal to Earth to transport themselves into our world. Before we go on, I just want to say that Planet Gogo had a lot of potential to be explored, and going to Earth for the first episode immediately isn't the best choice. Like, the portal to Earth is open within the first 5 minutes of the episode. Why not save that for the end so that viewers feel compelled to keep watching? It's shown that the planet has different biomes, and it isn't just restricted to the main city. There is also a good world to be explored, especially to talk about Gogos instead of jumping directly to Earth, a world we as viewers already know about. So the Gogos actually arrive in some sort of Air Force base, which implies that there's been war in this world. It has pretty modern jets and helicopters. Our team arrives within a building and finds a blimp, so they mess with some helium and their voices get higher pitched. Great. So while buoying our main man Struber, the team talks about each of their special abilities, which each Crazy Bone has. Honestly, I don't quite care for their abilities. It's not like you need to know them for their character because we've just been introduced to them, and honestly the expectations aren't that high. Basically, their plan to get the rain cloud that they need for this episode is to shrink down the blimp, get on it themselves, then shrink the cloud and bring it back. Genius! Why hasn't anyone ever thought of that? Okay, so their shrink ray only has enough juice to shrink one thing, so they're going to try to pilot the regular sized blimp so they can shrink down the cloud. Unfortunately, they can't see out the window of the blimp, so they have to be guided by those on the ground. This is probably the worst bit of the entire episode. When giving directions to raise or lower the altitude of the blimp, the yellow dude driving it keeps racing and lowering his voice instead of actually following the directions given by the blue guy. It took me like a fat minute to realize what was going on. I actually had to rewind it to figure it out. Anyways, the blimp pops and they reenact the Hindenburg disaster because they're incompetent. So the gray lady gives them a big pep talk and they become innovative and make a hot air balloon to capture this cloud themselves. Okay, so I was watching it as I typed it, and they dropped their little shrink ray thing, and the flying pink dude was able to catch it. So now I'm kind of wondering, why did they all need a device to fly with when they could have just had the pink dude over here, like, fly up to it and shrink it himself? I don't know. They realize that you can't carry a cloud, you know, because it's vapor. How these guys who were able to create a hot air balloon using ordinary office supplies didn't realize this is honestly beyond me. Okay, so it turns out that the special abilities thing actually is important, but we only need to know Struber's because his power is to hold his breath for a ridiculous amount of time. So they decide to shrink the cloud and let him inhale it. From that, he holds it in until they return home. So they return home, and this massive computer is like, yo, this better be good. I'm supposed to be an important character, but I haven't appeared yet. So I was actually in the middle of editing this thing, right? And I was like trimming down some of the footage so that I could use it in this video. And I guess I did it on the right frame, and you can see like a frame of unfinished animation that was like left in the episode. Like, what? And then the pink guy has a heart-to-heart with Struber, and they finally make him laugh. Anyways, this big TV screen guy is pissed off about it because he just lost his stupid rain cloud. Boom! End of the episode. No credits. Awesome. So you might be wondering about my thoughts regarding this pilot. I'll say this much. I gave a lot of unnecessary opinions during that review. It actually took me a good hour to get through this 11-minute episode, mainly because I didn't want to watch it. It was just bad to me, but I'm sure it appeals to someone else at least. Honestly, I understand why this pilot episode was more casual rather than an opening to the series. When you look at something like the Thomas and Friends Down the Mine pilot episode, it was simply a pitch to give an idea of what the show would be like, as compared to its first episode where we get an introduction to our talking blue tank engine. The fact is, this pilot is simply a pitch, not a setup. At the time of its production, no one knew if it would get approved. I mean, I even covered that in my original video on the topic. It was a fad. No one knows how long these things last. I feel like there could have been potential with the show. Honestly, it had some to work with. You've got a unique cast of characters in an entirely new world of your creation, yet the cards were still played wrong. On paper, the concept sounds fantastic. It'll boost sales of toys, the channel gets more views, higher product ratings, but when you take a look at the finalized copy, you squirm. There's honestly no better way for me to say that. It was an awful pilot to me then, and it's honestly no better now. However, I feel like when you apply the element of lost media to it, the viewing of it becomes more rewarding. I mean, hey, you finally got to watch that pilot pitch that's been lost for like a whole decade. It's insane, but it's awesome. Regardless of how I may feel about this piece of media itself, I'm glad that it is resurfaced once again. Finding lost media is awesome, and honestly, this whole event was nothing different. So, to the Gogo's Crazy Bones pilot episode, welcome back. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, why not leave a like? It's awesome, and it lets me know what you guys think. You can go ahead and comment your thoughts down below. There should be a pinned comment with a link to the pilot episode, as well as any corrections I may need to make to the video. Once again, thanks to Aiden for reaching out to me, and thanks to Sivorius and Tisby for allowing this media to resurface. Anyways, gang, if you're interested in more of my content, consider subscribing. It's free, and you can click that bell icon to be notified of my next upload. As always, guys, it's been a blast, and I will see you all next time. Peace!